Last Sunday, the 15th of May, 20 schools competed in the first ever Rams Primary School Relay Competition, which was held at the Kim Collins Stadium. Today, we're pleased to have with us Delwayne Delaney, president of St. Kitts and Nevis Athletics, to tell us all about the Relay Championship. Welcome.
Welcome back.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming back. I didn't have you last time, but thank you for coming back. But speaking as the president of SKN Athletics, would you consider the championship on Sunday a success?
I don't think success is the word. I don't know what the word is.
Is there a bigger word than success?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what it is, but definitely it's out there. But the championships was, exceeded expectations greatly. We expected a fair amount of spectators, and they came in by the droves. We couldn't manage them at one particular time. We had to stop patrons from going into the metal stands. We know the Kim Collins stands were sold out by the Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
And the meet was Sunday. We sold a considerable amount of tickets in Nevis as well, and they came down in their numbers. Chartered boats and buses, and they came over with the noisemakers and that sort of thing.
Yes.
I know that for sure.
Yeah, so it exceeded expectations.
Yeah, Divisions are very serious about primary school athletics.
Very, very serious.
Very
They're mini
serious.
Olympics in Nevis, yeah.
If you're gonna have a half holiday
You really
serious.
We
Yeah.
need that kind of investment. I think
Over
we need
here,
that kind
yeah,
of
we
investment
do.
over here.
We do.
It's true.
So the crowd was very lively, as Delwyn would have mentioned. Let's take a look at that video. That was a lively crowd.
I'm believing that had to be her child that won. I have to believe that was her child that won. If not, I need that woman to come every day and just cheer me on to get up in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Nicola, we're talking about you.
That was very exciting. Okay, so that was exciting. So what made you guys with this format? What was the format of this since it was your first one? How did you determine how you would do the relays and what kind of relays were they?
So usually, of course, we have the Rams Primary School Championships where you have schools entering 2 athletes, per event. It gives the opportunity now for more athletes to participate because we need a minimum of 4 athletes per event. And so because of the short window, we sight fit that, to encompass as many athletes as possible and give a difference to track and field. There's the World Relays that started maybe about 7-8 years ago, and we sort of adopted that in the sense that we didn't have just the traditional relays where you had the 4x1s and the 4x4s. Now we had medley relays where you ran 1-1-2-4 or 1-1-2-2, and for the first time we had mixed relays where we have 2 boys, 2 girls, and you place them in any order you see fit. So strategically you would have seen girls running against boys and that sort of thing, which led to the excitement.
So is it by age?
Correct.
Yes.
So there was the under 9, the under 11, and the under 13 events.
Interesting.
Well, we know Charleston Primary was already the victors at the Mini Olympics in Nevis.
Right.
What did you think gave them the edge to lead that led up to the victory?
There's a saying, proper preparation against poor performance.
So they came prepared.
And they came prepared. They came prepared. They were the most prepared school in my estimation.
You go, Charlestown.
Yeah, and they really showed out come Sunday past. They were, as I said, they were prepared. They came with energy. They have a very good fan base as well, a support system, which I think is very important. And it only lends, of course, to the victory and hopefully spurs on the other schools for next time around, So, hey, we have a challenge, and we're prepared to take on that challenge.
So were schools missing from this event?
There were a few schools, but I must make mention of the Joshua Obadiah Primary School. As we all know, they suffered the fire at their school, and in the first instance, because of the displacement, the head teacher indicated that they won't be able to participate. And after further conversation and probing, they said, okay, we'll enter. Then they did enter, not just with a mere 4 athletes, but I think 20-something athletes.
They came with their full entourage,
So they must be applauded for their efforts.
Yeah,
we applaud you.
Yes, that's really great, because it's a lot in adversity to just build yourselves up and come back to compete like that. So all of the schools came through. So would you say this is something that you would love, like that we're going to see this again?
Definitely. We have to go back to the drawing board because it was our first event. We don't, and spectators alike, there's something we call time finals because there's so many schools. We didn't have an actual final, right? So perhaps we'll want to introduce an elimination process. So at the end, when someone wins the race, that's the overall winner, rather than to calculate, which heat was the fastest. So we have some work to do, and we intend to do that in ensuring that next year it's bigger and better.
Delwayne, this was the first ever primary relay championship. What was the inspiration behind it? Why relay?
Why relay? So we all know when we go to track meets, there's a bit of a lull and say, I can't wait for the relays.
It's the truth.
I can't wait for the relays. So we decided, wait no longer. All afternoon, strictly relays. So that kept the hype, kept the energy alive. You don't know what will happen. At the primary school level, you have all sort of, you don't know what to expect. Will they run the wrong way? Will they give the baton to the wrong person? You don't know. So that gave, some sense of excitement to the meet. The inspiration, we as SKN Athletics, we sat around the table and say, hey, what can we do? We cannot let all the hype and the outside, pass us by. We must get involved, and so we decided, why not host a relay championship? All the primary schools by then would have had their primary school meets. So they were well engaged and they were ready to go. So we engaged the Ministry of Education, and they gave us the green light, and we were off and running.
Right, because we have a high school relay competition, because I know that's quite exciting, because what you're saying is true. Sports days are a little tough for me, unless it's washy, because we know we're biased. But sports days generally that lull, but relay competition, I remember the championships, it's just like fire, like just going the whole time, and then people come out earlier and they stay later. So I think it's so great that you guys have done it for the primary school.
Right.
Their parents are excited.
Very much so. As I said earlier, they came down from Nevis by the numbers. There was a mad rush at the gates to get in. As I said, persons came very, very early. I'm talking about 2 hours early, started to get their seats and get prepared, and persons walk with their lunch just to ensure that,
It's a serious thing.
I tell you, it's like a primary energy, I think, especially when you have young children. I just love to see the parents, because the kids really need encouragement. You're right, sometimes you lose a race. Look at that race the other day, the girl lost her shoe, just kept running, so it's so good to have that kind of support. I'm glad that we're getting our kids outside again. That's a great exercise.
Delwayne, did any of the kids run the wrong way?
No, but I saw some drop batons. And again, just like what we saw in the video, they picked up their baton and they were one student, I think it was a student athlete from Nevis. They dropped their baton and they picked it up, and I think the relay team came first.
Look at that.
So you can pick up the baton and keep running. I always thought if you drop your baton,
that's it.
Then you can't keep going. So you can pick it up, but the chances of you winning are
slim.
And they still won.
Not if you're fast.
Not if you're fast.
Exactly. So I can pick that up just Usain Bolt cross you.
Yeah. I think it also comes to children because, you know, like children, they don't have the same kind of embarrassment, you know?
Exactly.
They will like be like, okay, the high schoolers that feel shame, people start to boo, you know? They're feeling really shame. But children be like, pick it up, keep going.
Let's go.
I really love the resilience of children. Yeah, it's very exciting. So what else is taking place on the track and field front in the Federation?
So from here, we have a contingent going down to Martinique. Those were the most junior athletes, rather. Many of them participated in the recently held Carifta Games. So they're given another opportunity to compete. After that, we have the club championships, where we have 11 clubs within St. Kitts Nevis, and they vie for the club championship. And after that, we have the national championship, which will be held in Nevis. And that will determine who goes on to what we call the postseason of track and field, where you represent the country at the Caribbean Games, which will be held in Guadeloupe over the summer. There's the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, England. And of course, the big one, which is the World Championships, which will be held in Eugene, Oregon this year.